Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Kubeflow Model Registry bi-weekly meeting. Today is Monday, November the 24th, and you've connected to this instance of the meeting. A friendly reminder, as every Kubeflow meeting, we follow the the CNCF Code of Conduct. You can find them linked in the minutes of the meeting notes. Minutes of the meeting notes where everybody is free to add item to the agenda if they want to do so. So we have a few items already, and meanwhile, also we finalize on the agenda. I would like to get started. First is just a reminder that we submitted for the graduation. So that is still progressing. And as far as I know, however, we don't have any sort of like imminent announcement coming on our way, unfortunately, so far. So I think that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We are still 8 in the queue. But in the Tuesday meeting, they keep on updating on the progress for this evaluation, in addition to all the great things coming out of QCon. So I remember, I just want to point out, if people are interested about the feedback from that event, they can see the recording of the past week Kubeflow community call happening on a Tuesday. I'm also pending to know if that they updated the security audit information with the newest code pointers. So we will see. Moving on, anybody has any questions about this item or wanted to spend on anything? In case, just don't hesitate to let me know. Then moving on to the next item, we had the sort of like the project rename. So we've been discussing this one also in the pull request over the past couple of weeks. So many thanks again for everybody who commented on it. We went through some, I would say, minor details about what would be the best sounding name. Thanks indeed as well to John for proposing even a simplified version of this name itself. So, by the way that it stands right now, the most sort of like a likelihood that seems to gain the consensus for the people will be to rename it as Kubeflow Hub without specifying AI, so that we can say directly the project is called Kubeflow Hub or having Hub as in the name, and it exposes Model Registry, Model Catalog, several capabilities of integration for as well as the vanilla Kubernetes job, like the Python client and so on. So I think that a Kubeflow Hub is a good umbrella name. So what I'm planning to do is to update the tab with this name as the first choice, trying to summarize on all the comments that people have made so that we have an historic for that one. I will use, since it's up to us to decide on the name, if you don't mind, I will go in circle and ask if everybody agree to go sort of like picking Kubeflow Hub as the sort of like the topmost name to propose the steering committee. So if you don't mind, I'll go in alphabetical order as I see them here. Addison, what is your perspective? I saw you have some comments on the PR. What do you think about the Kubeflow Hub name?
Yeah, I'm on board with Kubeflow Hub.
Thank you, Addison. Chris, you're next in the line.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Thanks. Eder.
Bosman.
All right. Thank you, Eder. John, I think that you're going to agree since it's like you came up actually with this one.
I hope so. Yes, agree. I
Thank
hope
you.
so, John.
Thank you, John. Next, I have Mike.
Yep, works for me.
Yeah, and Julia.
Kubeflow Hub it is.
All right. Thank you so much. So what I'm going to do is that I will update the cap with the latest and greatest from this. Thank you all for your contribution, and we will see from there. All right. Moving on to the next item, I have here Chris.
Sure. I don't know if you want to just click on the PR. There's a little video there. The idea of this pull request was to try and use the tilt system, which is how you can deploy model registry and model catalog, and then give some background data, to make it a little bit easier to see all the functionality that's available within sources and within each of the models, where you can view the different icons, some of the the labels, the descriptions, and if you had metrics, you can also include the metrics and see some of that data. So all of the model data that's there is all demo data. It's generated. I did it so that it wouldn't prescribe that. Kubeflow was saying these are the models to pick out of the box or anything like that, but it was really to give you some look and feel for how all of the things within the catalog interact, and different ways you can kind of show how the breakdown of, like, I have this category of models, I have another category of models, and then all models that aren't placed in a category will go into this kind of community and custom models piece, and then also show off some of the metrics facilities that the UI has added over the last few months. Any questions?
You are mute, Matteo.
No, I was going to thank Chris indeed for making it. Thank you, Ed. Thank you, Chris, indeed, for showcasing this also in a video. I think it also brings together the power of both what the backend team and the UI team has been working on. So great kudos to both the team and for you, Chris, to actually taking the chance of this test data, as you said, to indeed showing off the great work. I was ready to say any question that people have for Chris.
No, thank you, Chris, for the quick reply for our request on the UI to have this data.
Yeah. So this is really great. Just a couple of points, maybe just to highlight to people, is that if people will be see the recording, is that this is the capability that catalog offers, and this is with some test data for models and some test data for performance. So the things are not sort of like that must be both. So people can define their own validated models that they want to show in the catalog, so they can configure the model catalog to display what are the blessed model for their organization. And then they can add whatever performance metric they want. So the numbers that you see in case that we have somebody from NVIDIA looking at those numbers, is the demo data. So of course, people can see for these models that are demo models, just some ideas of what they can measure on their own premise and put it in, so that it can best inform a data scientist that might use this model. So this is really, I think, a great addition, and having this mock data, I think that it sort of like this the cherry on the cake. I have just a reminder for the UI folks. I think this tilt works awesome because it's a good sort of like a developer preview environment for people using, for the developers though. It will be nice to showcase the same great value of the UI with the Docker Compose or things like that we spoke about in past iteration, especially in consideration for the Kubeflow SDK. And
yeah, I need to work on this. This is probably my Christmas project. I will do this.
Or if you can send the pointers about the modification that need to be done, we can use some AI assisted tooling to help, and somebody else can take it on. I think it's like at least having 3 or 4 pointers from the UI team, not specifically you, Heather, but anyone who can advise on how we can replicate the same instead of being tilt. So tilt works with behind the scene, you have like a Kubernetes cluster following the purposes. If you could replicate the same with a Docker Compose things, I think it will be awesome and people are going to love it. So Heather, I'll leave it with you, but Mike and Julia, or if you know somebody else who knows the 3 or 4 lines of code that we need to change it for the images to point to a local Docker server executing of the catalog and the model registry, I think that will be awesome. All right. Thank you so much, Chris. Next item, we have Heather.
Yeah, probably this is my bad that I was not part of the conversations, but I was talking to Pushpa this morning in review a pull request, right? Is that from the user perspective that is using the model registry, right? The model catalog, there was is inverse here. So the preview and the source is from user perspective, all come from the model catalog REST API, right? When you go for the sources for the admin, when I'm creating a new source or adding a new source, we're gonna have some default sources, and you're going to have some extra sources on this config map, right? When you do this, I just want to double check that everybody on the same page, that this will occur a eventual consistency, that a user can create a new sources on this custom source, but being an admin, right? When they go for the sources endpoint, especially for this preview endpoint, we will have a eventual consistency between both. Just to make sure that everybody's on the same page of this decision. Because it's just that maybe I was not part of the conversations. Just that.
Yeah, there should be a time between when the config maps get updated, and then the operator says, "Oh, this change has happened," and we'll create a reload of the catalog, which will then reprocess the different sources, and it will remove any models that should be removed because of the updates from the admin, whether it be in the default sources list or in the custom sources list, or add new models based on what was added from like the YAML format or from any of the Hugging Face processing.
Okay.
Yeah, my understanding, Eder, is that the default sources config map will be immutable, and if we need to change something for it, like different filters or enable disable state, that'll be just a part, like a minimal override in the model catalog sources. If it has the same ID, it will be getting merged, but not like a synchronization where the default sources of config map would update. It would just merge together only in the catalog REST API.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah, that's accurate.
All right. Eder, was this the last things in your point?
Yes, thank you.
All right. No, thank you. And thank you, Chris. Thank you, Mike. Any other questions for Eder on that point? Take it as a no. And next in the line, we have John.
Yeah, so I'll just keep this brief because I don't really have a real proper demo. But yeah, if you want to just click on that link, I just wanted to mention some of the work we did a while back, kind of long overdue announcing this, and we'll hopefully have something to showcase this a little better, sort of like what Chris had. But it really is a back-end utility here. And if we scroll down kind of, we've got all these config options, and then down below these, you can see we've got these upload intent types and yeah, the config map usage. So if we scroll up just a little bit to the upload intent types, basic idea here, right, is you can register models from different sources, but if your sources are all over the place in Hugging Face, S3, PVC, whatever, maybe you want to really have your model registry be downloading, sourcing from one central location, like an OCI registry, something like that. This just provides a backend utility to make it easy to sort of be able to originally source models from anywhere, any URI, S3, and then sort of have them copied to whatever destination location, like your OCI registry you want. So the reason for the different intent types is, you may already have sort of a registered model and a version of that model in sort of a draft state, and that's where update artifact does this minimal step of updating the URI, your destination OCI location, and doing the copy from source location. Create model and create version just allow you to kind of do additional steps if you don't have a model at all, or you have a model but want to create a new version for it. So I'm getting into the weeds a little bit, but that's a basic idea. Like I said, we'll hopefully have a better showcase of this fairly soon, so stay tuned.
Thank you, John. And I think it's a good overview indeed. It's like this is also, we were speaking just about it in the previous Kubeflow release meeting. The idea would be that we are trying to make their life easier for the data scientists, so that they say, okay, data scientist, or in this case, MLOps engineer, is like, okay, I want Model Registry to help me sort out to store first the model, the artifact that they wanted to do. especially in model car. Without actually, another thing to point out is that people, when using either the job or either the Model Registry Python client integration that we had before, they don't need to learn Docker, or they do not need to learn Podman or things like that. It's like this functionality takes care of packaging container images and shipping it to the registry, as John was saying, and then maintaining the metadata. The job is a way that can be automated. Indeed, for example, think that you may have, I don't know, versions in Hugging Faces that are periodically updated for whatever reasons there. Then you can decide to use this kind of job indeed to automate the periodic refresh of the container images that are reflecting the Hugging Face model. Do you think, John, this also summarize the highlights about what these capabilities for?
Yeah, exactly. Good points.
Thank you so much. And indeed, it's like we have greater documentation here, but it's like eventually for the Kubeflow 1.11 release, maybe a diagram that explain that one. If we don't have even a full feature demo, I think that a diagram that explain where this fit into the picture will be greatly appreciated. Thank you so much, John. Does anybody has any question for John? I think it is a no. So I think that we went through all the agenda items for today. I'll just open the floor if people have any last minute items that they wanted to discuss. I'm going once, going twice. All right, so just a reminder, every Tuesday, the Kubeflow community meeting is every week. Pardon me, Ramesh, please.
I'm just want to put a public announcement that if anybody is looking for a position in Kubeflow community, maybe we may have somebody in the US, we may have a position open. I don't know whether it's acceptable to say it here, but.
Yes, sorry, Ramesh, you were not, while you are here, so thank you for the highlight, and people can reach out to Slack about it. Just a highlight, we were discussing earlier about the rename. Thank you, Adam. The rename for the project to be Kubeflow Hub. Do you also agree to that one? Can I put it on record?
Yes.
Right. Thank you so much. So indeed, an action item that follows through that one is that I will update the cap accordingly. All right. So just a reminder. Yep. Okay. Thank you. And so just a reminder, every Tuesday is community meeting. It's no longer like a community graduation. Community graduation is every week on Tuesday, community meetings. And for people to know that the Kubeflow release meeting is starting again to be run. So indeed, it's like just before the hour before this meeting, we have it over there. Unless the last minute before we leave, also just for you as well, thank you for joining. We've been, don't worry, it's not a trap. We've been going through the agenda items, and we did discuss about the rename to Kubeflow Hub as the final name to be selected. Can I have also your opinion as everybody in the meeting?
Yeah. Yeah, seems nice to me. I was also considering the Kubeflow AI Hub naming, but yeah, like John said, less is more. So I agree with everyone else.
Thank you. So that we have also on the meeting the information. With that one, indeed, like going once, going twice. Thank you all for your contribution, and we'll see you in 2 weeks for the Model Registry. For the US-based folks, enjoy the holiday, and we'll speak again either on the Tuesday meetings or on the bi-weekly Kubeflow Model Registry every Monday. Thanks so much, and have a great evening. Bye.
Thanks.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.